this tutorial is to show you how to make a Christmas ornament using fabrics. So this is what we're making. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all you need a foam ball. These are 100mm balls. You will need lots of pins. Each ball takes about 200 pins to make one. I use the hardened and polished extra long fine pins. You may need a thimble because after a while pushing the pins in does get a bit sore on your fingers. Okay, so you need 3 different fabrics. Your first fabric, which is the centre of the ball, you need 8 3-inch squares. For the second colour, you need 16 3-inch squares. And for your third colour, you need 16 3-inch squares and also a 13-inch by 3-inch strip of fabric. You can use, I use just a ribbon to make the tie, so this is about 30 inches long. Okay, so to get started, we have to find the 2 centres of the ball. So all of these balls have a seam, so if you just mark it with an X anywhere on the seam, doesn't matter. And then take a tape measure. We need to find the other centre. So if you take the tape measure and measure around the ball, it's about 12.5 inches. So we need to find the 6 1/4, which is here. And then on the seam again, make your cross. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to start with our first colour, which is this one here. Now the first thing we need to do is to fold a piece of fabric in half, finger press it, and then fold it in half again and finger press the corner there. What we're trying to do is find the centre of the piece of fabric. And after you've done these for a while, you actually can just eyeball the centre. So just take a pin and place it in the centre of the piece of fabric there. And starting on the cross, we're going to place the pin right in the middle of that cross there. Push it in. Sorry, I've been making a few of these, so my hands are quite sore. Okay, so once you've done that, fold the fabric in half. Fold one side down, one corner. Place a pin in the corner there. Fold the other corner down and place another pin there as well. Pin the other corners. And that's your first piece there. Okay, so now we are going to do the other side. So again, take another piece of fabric, fold it in half, fold it in half again, find your centre, place a pin into the centre of the piece of fabric. Place it directly opposite that first piece, press it in, do exactly the same thing. So fold it in half, place your pin in the corner, place another pin in the other corner, and then place pins in the 2 side corners here. Okay, so again, fold your piece of fabric in half, half again, press, pin in the centre, and then we're going to do these other two here. Bring your corners down. Now when you're doing this centre bit, just make sure that you don't have any white showing here. You don't want to see any of the ball there. Doesn't matter if it overlaps a bit because the next piece is going to go across there anyway. So fold your next piece down. Add your pin. Pin your corners. Oops, missed that one. Okay, then we're going to do the last one. So fold it in half. Half again. Find your corner, centre. Add a pin. Do the last one. Okay, you just add these pins to the corners here. That's our centre. Okay, so the next colour is our second row, and this was our red here. Now, these ones, I'm just going to eyeball the centre of these. So we add a pin to the centre. You can fold them if that's how you prefer to do it as well. Okay, so we're going to start on these centres here. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one you start on. So come down about ½ inch and place a piece of fabric pushing the pin in. We're going to do exactly the same thing. So fold in half. Add your pins. Okay, and then do the same thing again on the other side. Goes the ball. So, centre. We go on the opposite side, so come down. Try and keep it even, so about ½ inch. Place your pin in. Same again. Okay, so then again adding a pin to the centre of the, and we're going to do the opposite sides. Here, come down ½ inch. So what you're trying to do is create a star in the centre here, and you'll see it come together when we add some more pieces of the red fabric. 1/2 inch. Okay, so that's your 4 done. You can see there, so it's starting to come together now. So your next task is to add your pin. Now we're going to come down onto these 4 here. So it's still 1/2 inch, thereabouts. So when you place the pin in, when you fold it down, you just want to have a little bit of these showing, okay? But it's still about 1/2 inch. Actually, that's not quite enough, is it? Come down a little bit more. Okay, that's better. Okay, so fold it in half. Exactly the same thing. So it's no different. The whole ball is made by folding these pieces of fabric into triangles. Okay, so go ahead and do exactly the same for the other 3, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the next row. Okay, so now you can see that that second row is finished, and now we're going to go on to the 3rd row. So that's these fabrics here. So exactly the same thing again. So piece of fabric, find the center, and start with the ones that are underneath, not the top ones. So we're going to start with these ones. Exactly the same thing, about 1/2 inch down. And folding. Didn't find the center of that very well, but that's okay. Okay, so go ahead and do the ones underneath and then do the other ones on top, exactly the same as we did for the red row, and then we'll come back and have a look and see what the next step is. Okay, so now you've completed that row, you can see what the ball's actually going to look like. So I went ahead and did the other side as well. So if you need to, just rewind the tutorial and follow the instructions. It's exactly the same on this side as it is on this side. So now that we've done that, we need to finish it off. So we've obviously got some foam ball showing here. And this is where our 13-inch strip comes into play. So I've gone ahead and done this, but what you do is you take one end and you iron down about 1/4 inch. You can use a little bit of glue if you like to. I just put a little bit of Yoo-hoo glue just to hold it in place. And then do the sides exactly the same. So 1/4 inch, so iron it down just so we don't have any raw edges. Okay, so find where you like the top of your ball. So maybe here. And just put the raw edge just a little bit past the center. Okay, so just put a couple of pins in here just to hold that in place. On the other side. and then quite firmly pull the fabric around the ball, making sure that you're covering all the pins of that last row so you can't see them. And then place some pins in the end here. To hold that in place. Now some people use glue guns and whatnot, but I find pins work just as well. Okay, so that's the ball pretty much finished, as you can see there. So the next step is to add the tie. So that's your 30-inch piece of ribbon that we had before. So just put it at the top there, place a pin in it, go around your ball like so. Now you can either add another pin or take that pin out. Sorry, and put the pin in place there. Take your piece of ribbon up to the top, and you need to take the pin out again. I'm sure there's an easy way to do this, I just find this to be the easiest way for me. Place your ribbon underneath, hold it in place there, and pin. Go ahead and pin it. Now I would add 2 pins here, and if you go in on an angle, you'll find that it'll anchor better. So when it's hanging on the tree, it doesn't actually come out. And that's finished. So there you go, there's your Christmas ball. Now you can add all sorts of things to that. So I sometimes do these ribbons. I'm not the best ribbon maker in the world, but there's lots of tutorials on YouTube to show you how to make ribbons. And you can just stick those on the top.